Welcome to another edition of SKNIS Week in Review. The Week in Review highlights the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for the past week. Here's a look at some of the highlights for the week of October 27th to November 2nd. Chamber President praises government's level of accessibility and responsiveness. St. Kitts and Nevis is home to the first Park Hyatt Hotel in the Caribbean. Taiwan furthers partnership with the Ministry of Health, and NTI to become one-stop shop for learning a trade. I am your presenter, Sherima Matthews. President of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce, CIC, Jose Rosa, has hailed the positive relationship between the government and the private sector, noting that the high level of support and interaction is most welcome. During a brief interview on Tuesday, October 31st, Mr. Rosa praised the level of accessibility that exists in the interactions between the CIC and senior government officials and policymakers.
Anytime that we like to have a meeting with any ministries or member of the cabinet or member of the parliament, we'll be able to set up those meetings. We're always going to try to align our agenda between the government and the private sector, and we're willing to work together with the government. The communication between the government and the private sector always has been good. President
Rosa added that the conversations between government and private interests have been candid and fruitful. He cited, for instance, engagements about crime in society, while noting that there has been ongoing and productive dialogue. The Republic of China Taiwan, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, launched a one-day training workshop as a summary to the 4-week course taught in Taiwan on the prevention and control of chronic kidney disease. 6 health professionals from the Federation have taken this course thus far, with more to be trained through 2020. The Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister of Health, thanked Taiwan's resident ambassador, His Excellency George Galway Chiu, for the country's continued support to the nation, especially with respect to health.
I pause to recognize the government and people of the Republic of China on Taiwan for their willing partnership. The experience and expertise will help to build our capacity to effectively and efficiently address our increasing renal failure burden.
He explained that these chronic non-communicable diseases, NCDs, are costly, and added that locally, almost $2 million went into the treatment of these diseases in 2016. This workshop is part of the capacity building project for the prevention and control of chronic kidney disease, which was launched in April 2017 and is funded by the Taiwanese government. The project is expected to assist in the planning of effective integrated care strategies and practices, the strengthening of the function of nephrology in the medical care system, and improving the community's self-management ability aimed at the prevention and control of chronic kidney disease. St. Kitts and Nevis is now home to the first award-winning luxury Miraval Life in Balance spa and the first ever Park Hyatt Hotel in the Caribbean, namely the Park Hyatt St. Kitts Christophe Harbour, which had its official opening on Wednesday, November 1st. The newly opened 126-room luxury resort comprises 3 signature restaurants, indoor and outdoor event spaces, 2 pools, and other distinctive amenities. The Park Hyatt St. Kitts Christophe Harbour is expected to provide sustainable, long-term economic benefits to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis for generations. 4 technical and vocational education and training TVET programs and institutions will soon be merged to form the National Training Institute, NTI, which will become a one-stop shop for skill and technical competency development by late 2018. The NTI which will be housed at the Advanced Vocational Education and Training Center AVEC, was initiated from a 2015 report entitled Rationalization of the SKN-TVET System by Dr. Paulette Dunn-Pear of Dunn-Pear, Barnett and Associates. It was recommended that AVEC Project Strong, the National Skills Training Program NSTP, and the training component of the People's Empowerment Program PEP, which is now the Skills Training Empowerment Program STEP, should be streamlined.
And you streamline for a number of reasons. Cost effectiveness, ensure we have quality control, quality assurance, make sure that the processes are in place. So a committee has been set up within the Ministry of Education, and we're discussing how this institution should be.
The forthcoming National Training Institute is part of the government's TVET Enhancement Project, which is geared towards improving access to quality education and training, participation and quality assurance in the educational system in St. Kitts and Nevis. The project started in 2016 and is expected to be completed in 2021. A group of students and teachers from the Edgar T. Morris Primary School were recently given an opportunity to tour the federal parliament, where they received first-hand information of the workings of the Honorable House. Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Senator Akila Byron Nisbet, welcomed the group and interacted with them in a question and answer segment that had students quite engaged. Senator Byron explained that it was extremely important to expose the students to such knowledge. She said that the students were very receptive and that she was quite impressed by their eagerness to learn about Parliament. The Deputy Speaker stated that the Parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis welcomes initiatives like this one and encourages more teachers to organize field trips of this nature so that students can learn more and get hands-on experience. 130 sanitation workers in St. Kitts and Nevis were awarded at the 15th Annual Sanitation Workers Appreciation Day ceremony, which, for the first time ever, was hosted at Government House. 11 workers, chosen by their supervisors, were given special awards for their hard work and dedication to their respective departments. These awardees were Sandra Phillip, William Alsander, and Bruce Nolan of Environmental Health, Kwame Valet, and Robinson Duran of the Nevis Solid Waste Management, and Lesroy Jeffords, Ray Francis, Jackie Bell, Austin Williams, Esme Benjamin, and Daslin Mitchum of the Parks and Beaches Unit. The Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister of Health, who was away on government business, wrote his remarks in honor of the Sanitation Workers Appreciation Day. Minister Hamilton said, "Government is working with the appropriate officials to ensure that employees are made pensionable, and I quote, so that upon retirement they can better afford the services that are necessary for your everyday comfort," end of quote. He urged the awardees to, and I quote, "continue to take ownership of the mission to enhance the health conditions in our nation," end of quote. Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, Prime Minister, paid tribute to the important service that is carried out by these key workers. The value of such was evident in the aftermath of Hurricanes Irma and Maria in September 2017. Dr. Harris wrote in the commemorative booklet for the appreciation ceremony, and I quote, "In the early hours after the hurricanes, sanitation crews headed for the front lines to restore our communities, leaving their own homes and families in order to look out for the interests of others," end of quote. The Department of Community and Social Development has been proactive in taking their programs to the people who need them most and working along with communities to improve the lives of its members. Against this backdrop, officials from the department appeared on November 1st edition of Working for You to discuss a number of important issues as it relates to the departments. Acting Director of Social Services and Community Development, Ann Wigley, said that the ministry is trying to work more with the differently abled persons and encourage persons, especially businesses, to also play their part and do more for the differently abled as well, adding that they should keep in mind the accessibility of their offices. She urged persons in general to take better care of those who are differently abled and make accommodations for them when and where possible.
In business places to make it more friendly for them. Going to their business place, you have a walkway where those with wheelchairs or even a stick can enter because there are persons with disability. We don't know what will happen. Today you're up, you could have an accident and you're disabled. So let us treat them with respect.
Acting Director of Social Services and Community Development, Anne Wigley. Minister of Human Settlement, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, in partnership with the National Housing Corporation, NHC, handed over the keys of a newly renovated house to Pamela Cornelius at a ceremony in St. Peter's on November 1st. Minister Hamilton expressed delight in being able to assist persons and noted that as the Minister of Human Settlement, he will continue to be of assistance and encourage others who can help to play their part as well.
Those of us who are in authority must make it our duty to ensure that the very basic things, food, clothing and shelter, is afforded to those who really need it.
Ms. Cornelius thanked NHC and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for her new home and noted that her family is very pleased that they now have a comfortable home to live in. Giving back to one's community is something that is encouraged, says Director of the Department of People's Empowerment in the Office of the Prime Minister, Duncan Watley, who handed over a number of school supplies to the Keon Primary and High Schools. The gifts were donated by the Brenda Burrows Foundation and the Green Valley Commercial Development, Inc. According to the family of Miss Burrows, Brenda strongly believed that every child deserves a good education without any obstacles. She was very involved in the Keon community and with various organizations such as the Green Valley Festival. The family said that it was her wish that she would be able to provide whatever assistance was needed to schools as well as to the elderly to make the community better and continue her legacy of outreach. The family of the late Brenda Burrows made a donation of 4 printers and office supplies to be shared between the Keon High, where she was a teacher, and the Keon Primary School, where she began her formal education. Thanks for viewing SKNIS Week in Review. I am Sherima Matthew. See you next week as we continue to update you, the general public, on what's happening in and around the Federation.